and today we're gonna read the Magic Trias Merlin mission number 7, Night of the New Magicians. And today we're gonna start reading at chapter 7, start paddling, and the end of reading at chapter 8, okay? And now, are you ready to read this one book with a lot of stories? And now here we go. And first you can read the Magic Trias Merlin Mission 7, Night of the New Magicians, Chapter 7, Start Paddling. Wow, whispered Jack. He reached into the statue, pulled out the rhyme book. I'll stay first in the line of rhyme, said Jack to Annie. You stay a second, then Welly started paddling as fast as he can. The streets is empty and no one will see us, so we can. Good, interrupted Annie. Let's get going. And said Jack, pulled off the rhyme book so they could both read by the light of the street lamp. He read his line first. Whir and twirl the swirl and spin. And Annie read the second line. T-roll-I-B-I bend. And Jack shoved the book back to the statue. Paddle, he cried. Jack and Annie balanced themselves to the bike and paddled hard. The bike rattled over to the cobblestones. Faster, said Jack. He paddled as hard as he could. The bike shot forward. The front wheel began to rise into the stone pavement. Wow, cried Annie. Hold on tight, said Jack. Jack gripped up the handlebars and wheels spin off faster and faster as the bicycle rolled into the air. The rolls higher and higher above the dark streets, above the rooftops, into the moon-bright sky. Turn left, shouted Jack, as they turned to the handlebars. Flying bicycle handed straight toward the tower. Oh wow, their bicycle is flying because they have paddled hard as they can and fast as they can. So they have paddled so hard, now they're at the Eiffel Tower. The white beams of the tower's moonlight swept over to a park, shining to the chimneys, church steeples, and domes. But Jack kept his eyes fixed onto the glowing iron tower. That was where they had to go. Annie was in their goal. As Jack and Annie had paddled, the warm pairs embraced them, holding the bike steady. With a very little effort, they drew closer and closer to the tower. Soon they were almost there. We have to land, shouted Jack. I know, said Annie. Lean forward. The both have leaned forward. The front of the wheel of the bike have dipped, and Annie have steadied off the handlebars as they zoomed and tore down to the base of the tower. The bike dipped it, and Annie have stopped toward into the base of the tower. Stop paddling, shouted Jack. He was afraid they would have dived into the ground, but the bike seemed to have mind of its own. It drew near of the base of the tower and had been dropped softly and slowly as the falling feather. The bike had floated down closer and closer ground as the wheels had brushed into the steady on the garden note from the tower, and Jack and Annie have used their brakes and the bike have showed up in the stop. When they have gently to the side, dumping Jack and Annie into the soft wet grass. Jack looked up. The Eiffel Tower have loomed above them, reaching to the sword of the bright Paris moon. We made it, said Annie bravely. Not yet, said Jack. We will still have to find from the party, said Jack. We still have to find, yes. And he had stood up. But first we have to find to leave bike under the tower. We have promised, said Annie, and Jack and Annie have picked up the big bike as they have jumped back and started pedaling toward the Eiffel Tower. The bike has felt a long clinker on the ground than it will be air. As they bumped over to the grass, they saw people streaming away from the fairground. It looks like the fair is closing, said Annie, and Jack and Annie had perked down to the bike and bikes down beneath the tower. The area looked desert, and there is no sign of the party or new magicians. The singer guard stood under the tall arches. "Excuse me," Annie called to the guard. "Do you know what time is it?" "Almost 10, answered the guard. "Is the tower closed for the day?" said Jack. "Yes, I'm afraid it is," said the guard. "We heard they're going to the party of the Eiffel Tower tonight," said Annie. The guard shook his head. "No, sorry. As you can see, there's no party here unless you mean the parade after of the top of the tower." Is the parade party at the very top?" said Annie, and she and Jack looked up. The top of the tower seemed a mile away. "Yes, with some very important guest," said the guard, and he leaned up close and whispered, "Mr. Thomas Edison, Dr. Louis Pasteur, and Mr. Alexander Graham Bell." "Oh, that's our party!" exclaimed Annie. "As their fourth guest," Jack said. "There must be the others, but I don't see anyone else." "Go up," said the guard. "We need to be there too," said Annie. "How do you get up?" The guard smiled. "I'm sorry," he said, "but the elevators are shut down for the night. Even if you have an invitation, only way you could get is to climb off the steps." The guard looked up, and that is quite of the few steps indeed. "Come and back right to the early morning can ride the elevators." The guard had tipped to the head and stole away. "Excuse me, sir," said Annie, calling after him. "How many steps are here?" "To be exact, there are 1,652 steps onto the plane from the top of the Eiffel Tower," the guard said, and he had disappeared into the dark. "That's too many steps," said Jack. "Let's fly up the bike," said Annie. "We can't," said Jack. "We can only use our mind once, remember," he said, and there a book of our moms had read once they hadn't used. "Find a treasure you must never lose." "That doesn't help," said Annie. "Pull a cloud from the sky," said Jack. "No help either," said Annie. "Turn into ducks," said Jack. Annie smiled. "Forget it. I'm not meeting Thomas Edison as a dog," said Jack. "So," said Annie. "The steps," said Jack. And Jack and Annie moved quickly around the base of the tower, searching for the steps. "There," said Jack. They hurried staircase, tucked inside of the use of the legs of a tower. And now they're going up the stairs, but there's 1,652 steps. It's very, 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 very many steps. And they moved quickly around the base of the tower, searching for the steps. "There," said Jack. And they hurried up the staircase, tucked inside of the legs of the tower. Jack gripped the iron railing. "Ready?" he said. "Yep," said Annie. "Let's go." Together they started up to the 1,652 steps that led to the top of the platform from the Eiffel Tower. Now they have gone up to the Eiffel Tower, but there's a lot of steps. If I'm Jack and Annie, I'll never go up to the Eiffel Tower. I just fly around, or I will use the duck Ramon. So I'll be the duck and go very fast and up the steps. It's a very great idea. And now it's chapter 8, Secrets, and tomorrow we'll be starting reading a chapter 8 and Diana reading a chapter 9, okay? or chapter 10. Now, did you have fun? US English culture. We come back with some this book, but not this story because it might be a new chapter to read, okay? And please subscribe my YouTube. Bye-bye, everybody, and have a nice